Hey, cosmic superstars. My name is Tayo, and welcome to Honest Flow. Hi. So, if you are new to this channel, hello. I hope you stay with me and I hope you subscribe, but it's okay if you don't. You can just give me a like or a comment, whatever floats your boat. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm just going with the flow of things. And yeah, so Honest Flow is actually a channel where I have honest conversations about all kinds of things just to help people to really kind of identify where they may be going wrong in life and how they can maybe change certain things to help themselves. So my channel is designed with the intent to serve, yeah, to help people because I really do love and enjoy helping people. So yeah, and I hope at some point to share a little bit more spiritual stuff, spiritual info, spiritual 101s. Um, and yeah, talk about numerology as well at some point. And when I can be bothered, I will start doing pick a card readings. But yeah, I'm really just going with the flow. And this year, I've been feeling a little bit, honestly, like a little bit. I wouldn't say I don't want to say drained because it's not that. I feel like that I'm in a more receptive mode slash kind of working in the background mode right now. But at the same time, I know that I should also make the effort to come online and make these random videos. Talking about effort as well. I made an effort to glam up today. Hi. If you watch my other videos, you'll know that I don't normally look like this. I actually just decided to dress up and glam up because I just felt like it. And I also have been getting sort of like intuitive hits or messages from spirit, God, source, whatever, to show up in, how can I say this? To basically share all sides of me to the world. And what I mean by that is because I am a multi layered, multifaceted being. I am a shapeshifter. I actually am many different things to many different people. And this is a side of me that I don't think I have really shown up as yet on my channel. Because, yeah, this side of me is the side of me that you would only meet when um, I'm out at social events like birthdays, weddings, some networking thing. I don't really do networking things a lot. I really don't like networking. Anyway, or like at the club. Yeah, so yeah, I go clubbing, but to be honest, I mean, let me rephrase. I used to club a lot, but lately I don't as much anymore just because it tires me out and also because my cat has been really unwell and my cat is my daughter. So I don't have the bandwidth and energy band no, sorry, bandwidth 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 or energy right now to like just go partying. And yeah, like I said, as you get older, you will come to understand what I'm talking about when you get really tired, and clubbing and partying isn't the same as it used to be. Yeah, for those of you who are wondering how old I am, I'm actually not too far off turning 40, and that's 40, by the way. Surprise. Many people think that I'm in my early 20s, and I get it a lot. And if if I were to be totally honest, there are days that it frustrates me that people keep talking down on me like I'm some 20-year old with no life experience. But the truth is, I have so much because I went through so much from a young age. But on the other side, it's kind of good as well because, I meet people who are like 10, 20 years younger than me and they look so old. And then I'm like, oh, it's kind of nice to look young because, yeah, nice. It's just nice looking fresh, right? But having said that, I don't look that fresh because I actually have these really heavy bags. You can't see because of the lighting and the makeup, I think. But I do have heavy bags that perhaps one day I'll do something about it. Who knows? Anyway, getting sidetracked. So today's video I really wanted to record because, yeah, I really want to talk about this topic, and it is something that's close to my heart and something I just really wanted to shine a light on to create more understanding and more compassion, especially to the younger generations who are coming in now with these things, and also to people who currently have it now. And yeah, so today I wanted to talk about neurodiversity, and being how can I say? Sorry, this is my neurodivergent brain working right now. And yeah, I want to talk about neurodiversity and I want to talk about ADHD because the truth is I am neurodivergent, and a lot of people meet me and can't tell, or they don't really know. Like, I feel that people sense there's something a little bit off about me, but they can't really figure it out. And yeah, so I feel that it's time for me to speak up about this and also talk about my personal experiences and how it felt growing up and how it really impacted my own self-esteem, and how certain people, like, people within my own circles made me feel when they didn't really hold space to understand what was going on. And yeah, and just the pains of being a neurodivergent person in a society that's built for neurotypical people. So yeah, I just really wanted to talk about that. And no, I haven't gone out and got proper tests and stuff, but you know what, I know myself very well to know that there's something off. And even as a young child, I knew something was off. And I even have this diary from 20 years ago where I would write things like, I wish I was normal. Like, that was when I was like 16. Like, I already knew I was different. And like, if I were to show you my kindergarten photo, you will see, like, visibly see that I'm so different to the other kids, because in that photo, in that like class picture, I'm sorry, I'm just looking over at the picture now. What am I doing? This is me in the picture. Yeah, that's me. Like, everyone's just standing, standing doing their little smile pose for the classroom picture, and this is me. And what pains me is when I try to hint to people within my circles that, hey, I think that I'm different, or like, I haven't used the word neurodivergent, or I haven't even used the word autistic, or a I have mentioned ADHD, but there's certain words I haven't used because I'm a little bit afraid of pointing out that I could be on this spectrum, because I have certain friends who have, like, you know, children who are autistic and stuff, and they'll be like, they'll be like, you wouldn't understand. Don't try to, you know, fit into a special box. Or, I just have this feeling that I don't know if it's going to be received well. But the thing is, I know that I'm different. I know for a long time. And if people really put two and two together and looked at the habits, looked at the things that I was doing, they'd come to realize that, okay, she was the way that she was because of the way she's wired. And yeah, yeah, I just really want to talk about, yeah, what it was like growing up neurodivergent, because it really did cause me personally kind of a lot of emotional pain. Yeah, it did. And frustrations and self-hate. So yeah, I am actually neurodivergent. I am highly, highly introverted, and introversion and extroversion, by the way, is a spectrum or scale. And on one end you have the extreme introverts, on the other end you have the extreme extroverts, and then in the middle we have what we call ambiverts. And to be honest, most of the population are ambiverts. Extreme extroverts and extreme introverts are more rare. Most people are actually ambiverts, and ambiverts are a little bit extroverted, a little bit introverted, and actually can kind of be a little bit of both. So they have an ability to sort of move back and forth from both. Whereas the extremes are always, extremely extroverted, extremely introverted. And by the way, you kind of are born that way. That's what scientific facts is showing, that you actually born that way. It's not something you can just switch to. So you can't have a highly introverted person just changing to an extrovert, because it's actually not about social capability. Capability is fine. Like, an introvert, I, for example, I am highly introverted, has no problem socializing, because I go out clubbing, make friends all the time. I have no problem socializing. Introversion, extroversion is actually more around how we utilize our energy, how we recharge ourselves. And introverts are homebodies. Their docking station is at home, and that's why they prefer being alone, because that's how they recharge their batteries. Whereas extroverts recharge in social situations. They sort of get energy from their surroundings and the people, so they need to be out and about. And this is why, like, you kind of can tell normally who the introverts and extroverts are. Extroverts are always at after work drinks on a Friday night. Introverts will be like, nah, I'm gonna go home. That's not for me. That's how you can normally tell who's what. Right. But yeah. Anyway, I'll talk about more about that on another video at another time. But yeah, so I'm highly, highly introverted. So that's and highly introverted people, science is starting to state that highly introverted people can actually so I'm trying to word this. See, this is because I'm neurodivergent. I sometimes struggle to word things. And so please forgive me if I do say things wrong or I use the wrong words. I think it's called malapropism. I can't remember the actual word, but there's a word for when I misuse words. I use a word thinking it means this or that, or I just mix up words, but there is a word for that word. Anyway, yeah. So I just lost my train of thought. So I'm highly introverted. Oh yeah. So it's because I've done a lot of research on introverted people and highly introverted people. Science is starting to show that highly introverted people actually have different brain wiring than extroverted people and neurotypical people. And neurotypical people being people with normal brains, normal wide brains. And so because I'm highly introverted, that already makes me neurodivergent. Number two, I'm 90% sure that I am on the ADHD spectrum. Having said that, I do not need medication. No thanks. No thanks. I'm being dealing fine without it. But yeah, I believe that I am on the ADHD spectrum because I'm always late to things. I have always been late to things since like I was young. And in the past, I would feel really guilty about it. I still do actually feel very guilty about it. And I feel a lot of shame about it because I knew that certain friends were like, what the hell? Like, why she was late? She's so selfish. She's so inconsiderate. Like, I could sense these things. They never said it to my face, but I could always sense it because I'm highly empathic and potentially telepathic because that's another story for another time. But I could sense that people were really frustrated and annoyed with me being late. And what these people didn't realize was I was also frustrated about being late and annoyed with myself and very ashamed of being this way. But I couldn't help it because it's not that I was intentionally trying to be late. It's not that I was intentionally, deliberately trying to be selfish. It's because I got distracted. I would always get distracted. Like on my way to getting ready to do something, I'm like, okay, and even if I planned ahead, there would always be something that distracts me. And then I would focus my attention on something else. And in no time, the time would pass. And then I'd realize, oh shit, I'm running late. I'm like, and then I'm in this panic, mad rush and I'm rushing to places. And this is something that only those who are on the ADHD spectrum will understand. And, if any of you ever find this video, give me a thumbs up or like a comment saying yeah you understand because yeah sometimes I feel like unless we band together and sort of explain to others this is what's going on, it's like I feel like no one ever is going to understand, and the neurotypical world is going to constantly label us bad names and call us selfish and make us feel bad for things that we don't mean. Like I don't mean to be late, I don't mean to do things outside the neurotypical normal box, but it's just how I'm wired. And I just wish people would be more compassionate. I just wish the normal folk out there would be a little bit more understanding that it's not easy. And you know what, if you want me to be on time, perhaps come pick me up instead of making me pick you up or making me drive there. Like, it'll be easier if you come help me, support me, not shame me and make me feel guilty, right? Anyway, that's one reason I knew that I was potentially on the ADHD spectrum, because I was always late to things. And another thing that flagged that I was on the ADHD spectrum is because growing up, I struggled with concentration. I struggled to read, and I actually had to repeat grade two. And it's funny because when I mention this to people around me within my own circles, it's like they always kind of dismiss my experience as, oh, that's normal. It's like, that's not that bad, just grade two. And it's like, as a young child, everything feels big, like impacts you. Everything's very, how can I say, like the smallest experience just feels like the biggest experience as a young child. So for me, having to repeat grade two got me questioning my intelligence, and it got me thinking that I was dumb, that I was stupid. And I knew that there was something wrong with me early on. I knew that I was not normal. And I even have this diary from 20 years ago when I was 16. Not sure if I've mentioned it, but yeah, I was 16 and I would write things like, I wish I was normal, because I knew I was not normal. And yeah, I kind of, I'm not sure how far I want to get into this, but I just really want people to understand that there are those of us out there who aren't built the same way as you. And on the outside, we might look the same. And then, we might look a bit scattered and stuff. And then so you're just saying, oh, she's just a scattered person. But internally, some of us, there's something going on that we cannot even explain. And even if we tried to explain it to you, normal people, I feel like you still wouldn't understand, because you don't want to understand. You would much rather label us names like, yeah, just selfish and inconsiderate and insensitive and things like that, without realizing it's like, I struggle to read, I struggle to concentrate. And for me, especially growing up, especially, this is something I never really spoke up about and really shared with the people around me, but in really loud environments, like when we're going out to restaurants to eat and stuff, or when someone's trying to talk to me in the workplace and there's so much noise going on, I'm trying so hard in that moment to focus on what you're saying, but I'm hearing 3 to 4 other conversations around me. And then I see a bird flying in, like in the background, and then my eyes will be like this. And this is why I know people have noticed me do this. And I know that they think that I'm not listening because I'm bored or like I don't care, but it's not that. It's because I'm on the ADHD spectrum. It's because I can't concentrate in certain environments. If you want to speak to me, it's better in a quiet space, or maybe just write me a note. It might be easier for me to absorb, because now I can read and absorb information. But when I was younger, I struggled with that. And strangely enough, as I got older, it got better. But yeah, I remember this one time I was like, I think it was in the workplace, and someone was talking to me and trying to tell me something. And I remember in that moment, just like I zoned out because I couldn't focus because there's so much going on. And then I sort of zoned out from everything. And I remember just in that moment, it's like in a movie when someone's talking to you and you zone out, right? And then I just remember thinking, just like looking at the person, looking like I was listening, but in my mind, I was having this conversation. It's like, why is it so hard to hear people? Why can't you focus? What's wrong with you? And then there was this voice that's like, is does anyone else feel this way, or is this just you? Is there something wrong with you? Like, is this normal? Are you like, yeah, are you broken or something? And I remember that thought because I remember that day so well, because I've had many moments like this where I'd be like, why is it I can't concentrate? And I don't think the people around me understood how hard it was at times. And I knew, I always knew after a conversation when someone was annoyed with me, because I could feel it. Because I'm an empath and I have this weird ability to feel people's thoughts. I don't know not even feel it. I can actually translate their energy into words, and I can actually hear what they're saying. And I could feel when they were upset with me, they're like, oh, she's never listening. Like, she doesn't listen. It's like she doesn't even care. It's like she just pretends. It's like she's so scattered and yeah, like I said, like there's just so many labels that was thrown at me, but these people didn't understand what was going on in my mind. I was trying so hard to listen to them, but there was so much noise, so much things happening, so many birds. And I know some of you who are in my circles have noticed this about me. You have noticed that when you're talking to me, suddenly I'm just like, I'm like a meerkat. I'm just like, and it's because I'm overstimulated. There's so much going on, and this is why I do that. It's not because I don't want to listen to you. I'm trying really hard, and sometimes I'm trying so hard that it's like I actually can't listen to you because in my mind, it's like, listen to her, listen to her, listen to her. What did she say? What did she say? What did she say? But I'm focused so much on that I don't even catch the words that you're saying because I'm going, make sure you're listening, Tara. Make sure you're listening. Make sure you're listening. Don't listen to the stuff in the background. Don't listen. And that's what's going in my mind. And I guess this is something that people don't really know about me. And yeah, I guess it's just part of being neurodivergent, right? There's all these things and nuances that people don't really understand. And then because people don't understand it, it's just much easier for people to sort of paint you as some villain, some bad person, just some, yeah, just unkind labels. And I guess I'm doing this video to share my own personal experiences and also get people to really think about, you know, if someone's not responding in a certain way, like in a normal way, don't always just label them as some bad person or some ignorant person or some stupid person. Perhaps they're neurodivergent. Perhaps there's something going in their mind and they can't even explain. And even with me, sometimes there are moments where I get socially awkward. And what I mean by that is I might have someone come up to me and it's like kind of a left field meeting and they'll just talk to me and it's unexpected. And then I don't know why sometimes I freeze and then I don't know what to say and I go a bit quiet and I'm just like, oh, yeah. Or like someone will ask me a really random question and I'm not prepared for it. And then I sort of answer in a very blunt, sort of abrupt manner without really thinking because it's just so left field for me and I wasn't prepared. And then people think I'm a bit like I'm a snob or I'm a bit rude. But the thing is, it's not that. It's because you don't know what's going on in here. In here, my mind is like next level. And what I mean by next level is just like operating in such a different way that I can't even explain. And I've tried to hint, actually, not even hint, I have told people within my own circles for a very long time now that I am a night owl. I am always up late. And, still to this day, I get people going, oh, why are you still up? And like, how many times must I tell you? I don't sleep at night. Like I'm very awake at night and I'm very alert. And recently I learned that's another trait of someone who's on the ADHD spectrum. They get really alert at night. They're very awake at a certain hour in the night, and that's just part of their makeup. And even, my hyper focus, like I can like hyper focus into things. It's funny because the thing with being on the ADHD spectrum is like you lack concentration at times, but then at other times you're in hyper focus mode. You're like honed in and you're so focused on one thing that everything around you is just a blur. Like nothing exists when you're in that moment where you're like in the zone. And yeah, there's just so many different things that I've come to learn about my personality. And when I reflect on how people treated me for those things, I actually feel really sad because I was like, all this time I berated myself for being like stupid and not being able to concentrate and not being able to hear people well. I berated myself. I actually did that. I felt guilty and I was very ashamed of being late to things. And I still, I get so much anxiety about being late to things, to be honest. Like I'm trying so hard now to be on time, but it's still kind of hard sometimes because I do still kind of get distracted. But if I have someone pushing me along or just there, say, hey, get in the car now, or something like that, then it's a bit easier. But these are the things that I just wish people understood, like normal people would understand. And yeah, and I just feel that, yeah, I just felt the need to actually speak about this and also sort of represent neurodivergent people and say, hey, we can still work a job and we still can do things. And by the way, I have like a full-time job. I work in the corporate world. I work in a project team as a project coordinator, and that job requires me to be actually quite organized. And this is the one thing that I found that I don't resonate or relate to when it comes to being on the ADHD spectrum. I think there's something about multitasking and being organized. I actually can be organized. I think when I have a clear goal of something, that helps me to hyper focus. If I have goals and I know that I have deadlines and things to do, I'm very good at getting those things done. But if I'm not given any goals or deadlines and stuff, that's when I struggle. I get really scattered. And I also learned that those on the ADHD spectrum tend to have neat piles of things everywhere in their spaces, which is funny because if I were to turn right now, I'll see a pile of random books, pile of clothes, pile of random things. Like everywhere in my room is very piles of things. Like it's not messy, but it's kind of messy. It's an organized chaos, and that's also another sign of someone on the spectrum. But yeah, I really don't really know. I really don't. See, I can't even speak properly. And this is, again, something about me that's different, that I do struggle with speaking sometimes. And I can speak. I can speak. Like I can communicate, but often sometimes I get tongue tied. And that's why I find for me personally, when I'm writing, things flow so beautifully. Like I am I don't want to say gifted writer, but I feel that my writing skills are like so much better than my see speaking skills. And yeah, these are the challenges of people who, yeah, are just their brains are wired differently. And I guess I really wanted to do this video because I wanted to speak up for those of us who operate differently. And I really wanted people who operate normally or neurotypical people to really sort of take the time to understand us and not, yeah, shame us. I feel like I'm repeating myself right now, but it's better to just keep emphasizing the message in this video, right? The message is, please, please be kind. Please be open to understanding that some of us are born with different wiring. Some of us are not born to fit the operating system of a normal person. Some of us are built to operate a different way. Some of us are built to be alert at night, to do things at night. Some of us aren't meant to be early birds like the rest of the world. And stop trying to say things like, oh, you just need to like get into the habit and then you'll be fine. Dude, I have tried that. I have tried like, sleeping early, waking up early. I've done that routine before. I used to work, in a bakery where I had to be at work at 7 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, and I was doing that for months, like a year and stuff. And guess what? I was still sleeping at 3, 4 a.m. So I was like living off 3, 4 hours sleep. Don't tell me that changing your habits are going to work, because those of us who are like wired that way, wired to be alert at night, we can't shut that off. And please don't tell us to medicate ourselves too. Like, I understand that, yes, there are medications out there that can help those with ADHD, control, sort of help with, getting them to be more focused and organized. But as someone who has not used any sort of medication to do that, I just want to say that you can still operate in this world. You just need to be around understanding people who will accept you the way you are and let you work around your body clock, around how your mind works, your body works, right? And yeah, I need to just blow my nose. Sorry. But anyway, am I making sense to anyone, like people out there? Am I, yeah, just, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but I mean, I made the effort to glam myself up, right? I mean, I should post it and just hope that this message will sort of trigger people to actually think a little bit more about those who are different, and just, yeah, instead of trying to mold us and squeeze us into your boxes and get us to operate your way, why don't you allow us to operate our way? Why don't you let us grow our way, and we'll let you continue to grow your way? Like, why does this world, why do we have to operate one way? Why can't we operate many ways? There's so many ways to get to the final destination. Why must we walk this similar path to everyone else? Like, don't get it. But yeah, I just feel like I came into this world to almost push the boundaries and change the way people think. And yeah, I feel that a part of me truly feels that I'm here to get people to accept those of us who are wired differently and be kinder to each other. And yeah, to change things, to create new ways. I'm not about like destroying old ways. Like, there's certain things that, yes, make sense, but there's other things that we could do differently, right? Anyway, I feel that I'm a little bit lost right now. I'm a bit delirious. It's like past 12 a.m. and I'm kind of feeling hungry. I'm kind of thinking of ordering some food. Yeah, I order. Yeah. Um, Let me have a look at my random notes on this screen over here. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't really know what to do with this video, but I guess I all I can say is I'm a very passionate being. I'm very passionate about creating change in this world. I'm really passionate about protecting those of us who operate differently. I'm very passionate about the underdogs, the misfits, and anyone who's ever felt lost in this world or mistreated. I'm passionate about serving humanity because that's what I'm here to do. And when I was younger, I thought I had no purpose. I thought I was not good enough for this world. And because of those thoughts, it took me to some really dark places in my mind. And now that I'm out on the other side, I want everyone to know that you don't have to go through things anymore. As in, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm getting really emotional. I think I'm an emotional being as well. I was what they labeled a crybaby and a sook as a child. So yeah, I just this is just who I am. So please don't tell me that I'm not healed, because I'll give you the finger and be like, F you. If I was not healed, I wouldn't have the things that I have today. Use your common sense, guys. But yeah, I just want to help people. I'm feeling very delirious. I think because I'm hungry, like I said before. So I'm gonna stop this video. But yeah, I'll give you my sunshine. What you call it? My sunshine hearts. I really like this series. I'll send you all a lot of love, a lot of light, a lot of healing, and hope that this video made sense. If not, I will probably not upload it. But if I do upload it, anyway, bye everyone.